Hello, we're here with Roger Harvey, off-road manager for Honda Europe, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the technical features and updates for this year's bike.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Whatever I know about it. Okay, total new bike this year. A lot of it's bred from the 450 last year. We got a lot of information on that. So this bike actually follows that family line. If I just move around the front, we've got the 6th generation chassis, obviously with the lower chassis rails at the top, lower on the steering head to make the front much more rigid, much better feel, much more stable feel in corners. We're running with spring forks, shower spring forks, as compared with the 450 running on Kayaba Air. The thing is with Honda, they test for performance, and whichever they decide they feel they get the better performance on, that is what they go with. And on this particular bike for the 250, spring forks were the option that we decided to go for. Radiators smaller, lower, Honda phrase, Honda terminology or Honda way of engineering, mass centralization. Basically meaning everything in the middle of the bike and as low as possible. So radiators fall into that, we get them lower, we make them smaller, but we put different ducting on the front to get more air through the radiators. Engine changed, gearbox, we're making more power out the engine this year, one of the requests we had. So that's with new porting, new top end basically. So now we have to bulk up the gearbox to make that stronger and cope with the extra power of the engine. Actually it's wider, it's 3.5mm wider because of the wider gears, etc. Shock, I think it was 14.5mm lower in the frame, and it's a shorter shock, so we save some weight with that as well. Plastics, all as the 450. You could take these off this and put them on your 450. So all the plastics are exactly the same. Seat, slightly narrower, once again, slight weight saving. Wheel, as we know, but the wheel is 3.5mm wider, obviously. If your gearbox is 3.5mm wider, your wheel has to be to follow the chain line. Swing arm, same as the 450, same section. What we use this year, more rigidity, better traction over the bumps, especially working on the starts, which is something we've worked on. Dual mufflers, diamond shape dual mufflers. We've got to be responsible in the environment now, so we try to make the bikes as quiet as possible. That's dictated by the FIM. So we now have gone to dual mufflers where we can make them, but also that helps us with mass centralization. We can make them much further forward. Normally you'd expect a silencer this long on one side. So again, we return since 2006 we were on dual mufflers. Very early in the career of this bike, if you want to call it a career. And at the split on the exhaust system here, we can divert the gases so that both muffler is working equally. So now you'll see that the size on the back of the muffler's exhaust point is the same diameter. Basically, that's some of the mods and updates to the new 250. Is there anything you want to ask me about? You want to see if I can tell you more about, or I can't tell you more about maybe?
Well, I know we saw the dual mufflers before, then we went back to single side, and so the theory behind the going back again, where is that derived from?
Okay, they worked on it, I think it was 2006 we had them on. A lot of teams, a lot of riders went to a single-sided, but to be honest now we're getting the benefits from, we can make better power. Certainly we can make better power with the dual muffler system than we can with the single muffler system. And when you look at the Japanese side, when they're testing, they can measure, like last year we called the 450 the first bike of the scrub generation, which means, like, you know what a scrub is? Or do you? I've never done it in my life. So the scrub generation, so if you've got a lot of weight further out, so that was another reason to shorten the silencers up and push them forward. But they've worked on other things like the diamond shape, that because it sheds mud better. So if you're in a wet one, the shape of that silencer will shed mud better. And they've done it to the front mud guard, and they've done things like this that will, this is the depth that they go to consider these benefits for the bike?
So it looks like weight reduction, centralisation of mass. That's the sort of the key to this. So the power of the bike. What have we done this year for that?
Okay, like I said, it's the engine has been completely gone through. It's got one thing I should have mentioned was the dual injection, but it's not 2 injectors. It's 1 4-stroke cycle that injects fuel 2 times. So it puts more fuel in, so you get a better throttle response. The target of this bike was to considerably improve bottom to middle power, and the positioning of the injector and the dual pulse, which is unique to Honda. We've been running it on the factory bikes. We've been running it now for 2 years on the factory bikes, and that works well. We know it works well. So it's now incorporated on this, the 250 and the 450 as well. So, you know, that helps, gives more throttle response, so you're hitting your power much earlier on.
Yeah. Okay, well, it looks like the Honda team had a lot of success this weekend, so I'm going to go out, give it another go, and I'll let you know what I think. Thanks, Roger.
Thanks, Lucas.